Lamborghini Huracan Performante was one of the highlights of 2017. It was a fantastic car. The V10 Lamborghini we'd all been waiting for. And now Lamborghini has followed it up with this, the Huracan Performante Spyder. So the question is, if you lose the roof, do you also lose the magic?
The Spyder gets the same Performante treatment as the coupe. Power is up by 30 brake horsepower to 631 bhp, with torque at 442 pounds-foot. The weight saving is 35 kilograms, thanks to the trick exhaust system and what Lamborghini calls forged composites, that's chopped carbon fibre. But compared to the Performante coupe, the Spyder is heavy, 125 kilograms heavier. The chassis has been completely reworked, and the tyres are sticky Pirelli P0 Corsas. The really trick thing about the Performante is the ALA active aerodynamics. There are flaps in the front spoiler and the rear wing that can reduce drag or increase downforce. The rear wing can even vector downforce across its width, pressing down on the inside edge to help the car pivot in cornering. The price is £235,000 before options. Gialli Inti paint, that's yellow to you and I, costs almost £4,000. The front axle lift and the magnetic dampers cost more than £5,000, while the forged 20-inch bronze wheels are close to £6,000. In this specification, the Performante Spyder costs £267,000. But doesn't it look sensational? This must be one of the most striking cars on the road.
When they design a new Lamborghini, they start with the outside. They get the exterior looking just the way they want it, and then they move to the inside. They design it from the outside in. That's why there are all sorts of ergonomic issues in here. For one thing, if I sit up straight, there's next to no headroom. For another thing, this header rail is right in your line of vision, so it's always there. And if you put the sun visor down, no, you can't see anything. But the biggest issue is these seats. I'm going to mention it once and then try and forget about them. They're heinous. They're like torture devices. There's no padding in them. I don't know, maybe Lamborghini assume that most buyers have their own padding. I don't, so they're backbreakers for me. They're also mounted quite high, so you feel like you're perched on top of the car, and they're not even that supportive. I could understand if they were figure-hugging seats that held you in position, but these ones aren't really, and after 2 hours, you just have to get out and have a walk just to try and straighten your back out. But I understand why the interior is compromised. If they gave us more headroom, the car wouldn't look the way it looks. Apart from that, it's all good in here. Love the suede steering wheel. Basically, the design is cool. This instrument binnacle right in front of you works beautifully. So it's not all a disaster in here. There are big ergonomic issues, but there's a lot to be delighted by as well. Trigger guard. You can't argue with a trigger guard. First things first, it's quite windy in here. I'm not even going particularly quickly, and it's very breezy in this cabin. That might be a little bit tiresome over a longer journey, but overall, it's quite a comfortable car, apart from that one thing I was only going to mention once, the seats. The car's pretty comfortable, and it's all because of the ride quality. It's lovely and composed, it's fluid, firmly controlled, but it's not crashy, it's not really stiff. But particularly in Strada mode, it's comfortable, it's relaxed, it's not uptight and tense. Of course, you don't want to use Strada mode on a road like this one, so we'll try Corsa. Everything becomes noisy, the dials change, and the chassis becomes super firm. Actually, it becomes far too firm. This is a relatively smooth road. In Corsa mode, when you start driving really quickly, it feels like you're going to lose control of the car because it becomes so busy. That's okay. We can switch back into sport mode and we still have the wonderfully noisy engine, the quick gearbox, but the chassis just relaxes a little bit and it starts working beautifully on this road. Now, it has to be said that this kind of car is weirdly compromised. It's fundamentally at odds with itself. It's the lightweight, hardcore, track-ready car. Lamborghini have taken loads of weight out of it, about 35 kilograms, and then stuck a load more back in by taking the roof off, chucking in a load of body strengthening, and all of a sudden it's not light anymore. It doesn't have the same body rigidity as the coupe. So what's it for? Is it the lightweight track-going model or not? It's like taking all the ingredients for a chocolate cake and trying to make a healthy meal out of it. The Huracan Spyder is the wrong starting point for a hardcore, focused car, isn't it? I suppose the point is, most of these Spyder models will probably not go on track. They'll be driven on the road when the weather's good. And with that sort of use in mind, it works. It really works. The body stiffness, for one thing, it's not really very compromised over the coupe. It still feels solid. So apart from the fact that I can see the sky and it's windy in here, how can I tell that this is the Spyder and not the coupe? Okay, the body feels stiff, but there are just some occasions, if you rattle it over a bumpy bit of road, you can feel the steering column fidget around a little bit, see the rear view mirror just shudder, but it's not bad at all. It feels a lot stiffer than, say, a 488 Spyder. There are also some occasions in really quick direction changes when you're asking the car to do a lot, you're asking the chassis to cope with a lot, you just feel a little bit of hesitancy. You feel that mass just slowing the car's reactions down, where the coupe would just snap from one direction to the other. I also think you can feel the performance is blunted ever so slightly by that extra 125 kilograms. Don't get me wrong, it's still a fantastically fast car. Right there, at the top of third gear, it pulls like a train. But I do think the coupe would just feel slightly more accelerative. I suppose the important point is, on a road, it's no less brilliant to drive than the coupe. That's the key point. There are a few signs here and there that it's a little bit heavier, that the body is a little bit more wobbly, but only if you really go searching for them. Basically, it's still sensationally good to drive. Let's just talk about the engine. The heart of the car, it's a masterpiece. 5.2 litre V10, normally aspirated, revs to almost 9,000 RPM, and it sounds like this. Wow, what a thing, what a motor. It makes you never want to drive a turbo engine again. Honestly, the response, the way it revs out, it's sensational. The gearbox is uncannily quick. It seems to give you the gear shift almost before you've pulled the pedal. It's incredible. So what makes it so good to drive on a winding mountain road like this one? Well, for one thing, it's got such a good front axle. This car is on bespoke Pirelli P0 Corsa tyres, and they have grip like you would not believe. There's just no push in the car at all. You feel like you can throw it into any corner at any speed you choose, and it'll have the grip to get around it. That gives the front end a resilience and a precision that only the Performante versions of the Huracan have. The damping is also beautiful, so it feels fluid and composed. It never scrapes its belly on the ground. It never skips or bounces. It feels like a Porsche GT car. And of course it's four-wheel drive, so we've got masses of traction. You can't brake traction. You need the space of a circuit so that you can throw it around to get it sliding. And body control is out of this world. It's so locked down. It's so keyed into the road surface. It never gets floaty. It never feels like it's going to get away from you. So you have so much faith in the car. That's the key point, faith in the car. And that's where the fun in this car comes from. Let's just talk about the steering. This car's got the variable assistant, variable ratio steering. It's one of the better systems of its type, but it's not perfect. Certainly when you start driving the car, it feels spookily quick. It makes the car feel nervous and sharp, overly sharp. But quite quickly, after only a few miles, you learn to smooth your inputs, to calm them down, to pour the car into a corner, to work with that very sharp, very responsive steering. And then you grow accustomed to it, and then you start working with it, leaning on that front axle, having confidence in that front axle. And after that point, the steering isn't really a problem. It's plenty good enough. The ceramic brakes are massively strong. They've even got good feel. They just don't fade on the road. So when you wrap all of that up together in one package, you're left with a car that gives you a huge amount of confidence. And it's so rewarding, so involving. And the drivetrain is out of this world. Of course, with the roof off, you're exposed to the sensations of driving quickly through the countryside. And that soundtrack just floods the cabin, and you appreciate it even more than you do in the coupe. It's a very special machine. One of Lamborghini's very best.